All righty. Hello, everyone. It is Kate Richburg, and I am here. It is December 15th, Wednesday, and I am live here at beadshop.com. I've got a little thing here on my screen that I had to move, but it's great to see everyone. I wanted to start this broadcast off on a little bit of a somber note, and then we will move forward from there. But I did want to thank all of you very, very much sincerely from the bottom of my heart on behalf of myself and my family. My dear sister passed away this past Sunday morning, as many of you know, and which is why I've been kind of MIA. So we miss our dear Julie very, very much, but your kind thoughts and words and prayers and just putting that light out into the universe really, really helped us. So on behalf of our whole family, thank you so much. And some of you have reached out to me to ask about memorial funds and things like that. Those are in the works, and I will share that on the Beadshop group and probably in our Beadshop newsletter when I have a little bit more news. But I wanted to thank you so much, because this is a beading family from around the world. So I thank you, and I'm so glad to be back with you with my tiny coffee cup. So, in honor of my dear sister Julie, who loved all things shiny and pretty, we're going to get into this and have a great day. So, cheers to you, my sister. Cheers to you, my bead sisters and brothers. And let's get this show on the road. Alrighty. A bracing cup of coffee, and let's go. So, a few weeks ago, you guys, I went shopping because I like to shop. It must run in our family because I like to shop. And so I got some beads for a flash sale today. So we're going to do a trunk show. And I can see in the screen that my hair's a little funny here. So excuse me for that too. But I think you're going to like the way that I pulled this together for you guys today. So the trunk show, so just to let you know how this is going to work. Today we're live on Wednesday, December 15th. I'm on the West Coast. I'm in the home office today. Can you tell the background's a little different? It is 10:36 a.m. if you're watching this live. So at noon Pacific time, all of this product is going to go live, okay, on the website. If you have opened the website, right, and you don't see it load, you need to hit that refresh button. So I'm going to leave the broadcast. This will probably go till about 11:30-ish, maybe just a touch longer. Then you'll have time if you want to do any other shopping today. I would suggest logging into your account, putting things into your cart, because when you jump in, and there are some extremely limited pieces of these items, there is a link. Geeta put it up. You can see, and I'm going to actually show this so you guys can see it. It's beadshop.com collections flash sale Friday, and usually we have these flash sales on Friday, but I've got something else for you coming up on Friday, so that I think you're going to enjoy. So, so you can find it all live at noon in the category flash sale Friday. Okay, so but refresh it. Okay, refresh it if you don't see it. So you go right over to our website, beadshop.com. You'll see it. It'll probably come up right on the homepage, I believe, right? And it's not live now. So if you're looking for it live, you're not going to see it because it won't go live until noon. Okay, but that's the link. And then you can jump in, put things in your cart. Just because they're in your cart, kids, does not mean that they're reserved for you. You have to complete the checkout process. But don't worry, you guys. If you miss out on some of these, I like to shop. I'm gonna do more. Okay, so another bead will come along because in the grand scheme of things, these beads are about this important. They're important, but we will certainly have more for you. Okay, so the way that I shopped this time, let me give you a little bit of kind of a background, right? How I did the shopping for these, because when I shop live in person at shows, sometimes it can get a little, it's like fast and furious, right? It's like all of a sudden you're faced with all of these beads and you have no idea what to do. And sometimes it's super hot. And this time it was like really crowded and I was masked and gloved. And it was, I went through the ringer for you guys for this. Okay. So the way that when I shop, and it's kind of how my mom and I shop for fabric, when we shop for fabric for quilting. And I'm going to show you each of these in turn. We're going to look at them a little bit closer. But what I do is I call it auditioning the beads, okay? Or when I'm shopping for fabric, I call it auditioning the fabric, okay? And so I kind of line everything up, right? And I kind of look at it overall as a group, okay? So when I shopped fast for all of this stuff, I put these into color families and I kind of grouped them together. So that's how I'm going to present them to you guys today. I look at shape, color, texture, all of those things when I group these. Okay. So, and I don't usually have a project in mind for these, but I have a couple. We're going to look at these again in a second, but I'm going to move these over. You guys might remember this piece from, again, I can't keep track of time, so I can't remember when we did this kit of Janice's. I feel like it was over a year ago. Janice put this piece together. It was based on one of her signature pieces that she wears all the time. If you have beads in your collection, you guys, right, and you really have no idea how to use them, this project is a great way to do that. So if you just kind of willy-nilly throw a bunch of these pieces into your cart and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do, this is a great one. And I'll show you, I'll get a little bit closer. Janice curated each of these, and hopefully in 2022 we'll have a few more of these fun Janice curated pieces. But you can see there's 2, 4, 6, 7 of these citrine nuggets. There's like 2, 3 of these coin pearls. So you just get kind of a variety of things that you kind of like, right? And what Janice did to make it super easy on herself, she strung this on soft flex. Can you see that? So this soft flex, we've got this great button, this little fish pond button from Cynthia Thornton from Green Girl. And can you see how it connects here to the soft flex? It's all strung on soft flex. Then it has just a couple of these. I think this is the 8-190, the what's it called? The palladium plated, I think, or something. I just love these so much. I don't remember the project name, Linda, but I bet either Gita or Janice or somebody out there, if you remember this project name, it was a curated kit that Janice put together. And I did a show on it. Janice is trying to find the project, so I'll tell you what it is, and maybe we can find the Interlude. It's called Interlude. Thank you, Jamie. And I know I did a broadcast on it. Okay. So this one, you just string. It's like a stream of consciousness, really. But again, it's on soft flex. You can see that the wire guard jumps in on the button. Okay. Then we've got a crimp cover. And then this is kind of a shortish necklace. It's not super long. So you can use just some of your beads, okay, and not all of them, or however you want. Let me show you this other side because I think it's a really attractive way to see how this closure is. You can see it's also done with the wire guard on this side. And then Janice was very clever and just took a piece of the 1.5 millimeter leather, looped it, tied it in a knot, and you can see, so it gives kind of a little bit of a boho feel to it, and she put a charm right here. So you could make this and have this sit in front. It would be very, very pretty. Or of course, it could sit in the back, especially if you've got short hair like I do now. It would look, wherever it sits, it looks terrific. So something like this is perfect for when you have no idea of a project in mind and you're like, what the heck am I going to do? So we just, just kind of, take an interlude and put this together. Okay. But very, very simple. And you don't even need to watch the broadcast. Get some soft flex, lay out your pieces, string them up, get your button, put it through the wire guard, and put that small scrap of leather, the 1.5 millimeter through, and there it is. Okay. So, here we go. Let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead and start with this top collection here. I'm going to put this collection aside. And I've kind of shopped them in collections. You don't have to buy them that way, but I think they look really pretty that way. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm going to, and Gita put the broadcast up for that one. It's there in the Facebook stream. You can see that. And so if you go to the YouTube, you can see it, and it's called Interlude. And here's for you guys who are watching on YouTube. Okay, there's the broadcast. Thank you so much, Gita, for finding it. And I think on the website, since we don't have the mix any longer or the curated kit, just go ahead and watch it live. I don't think we have it on the website any longer because people get disappointed once it's sold out, right? But here it is, the interlude, so you guys can see that there. Okay, so let's take a look. Let me start with the stones. So I'm going to start with this multi-colored heishi, and I got it in several different colorways, and different sizes. I'm looking all over for my tape measure, and it's in its usual place around my neck. So these are shorter strands. These are 8-inch strands here. Okay, and the color, the lighting, I don't know. I didn't really do much to the light, but I feel like the lighting is not quite as vibrant as it could be today. So this is really just a beautiful array of moonstone, from light to peach to the gray moonstone, and it's the heishi beads, 8-inch strand. And you can see, I'll measure these for you guys. They're in width like this, about 6.7, but they vary in size. Some are kind of thin at almost 2 millimeter, or kind of thick at like 2.5 millimeter, about, even thicker here, right? Almost 3 millimeter. So they do vary, right, on these, okay, like this. So they're all, they're a fun, kind of that heishi, reminiscent of kind of the puka shell, very elevated, okay, puka shell kind of feeling to it, and 8 inches. I like to use these in stacks, especially, so I'll stack them in like threes or fives or something like that. So that's these. These are the multi Moonstone flat heishi for those guys. Okay, and again, remember, these are going to go live at noon Pacific time. Right now, the clock is running and it's 10:48 a.m. here today, live on December 15th on Wednesday. So these are also, let me get the bag here so I make sure that I'm telling you. These are a peach moonstone with a mystic coating. This mystic coating, I'll be honest, I don't always love it, to tell you the truth. So I'm really picky about what beads I get with this mystic coating. This mystic, what it is it's kind of a shine that's added. And sometimes I feel it's like gilding the lily. But I liked these a lot, these peach moonstone. I think I just have a thing for faceted ovals. I love them. The coating gives them a little bit of a feel that's a little different, right? But be assured that they are the semi-precious bead, but that coating kind of seals it so you could kind of feel it. But I really like these. Hole to hole, they're a little over 16 millimeter by a little over 12.5 millimeter. And again, this is an 8-inch strand. Very pretty light colored bead. These would make beautiful earrings, I think. Really, really beautiful earrings. They would also be that great focal if you were doing this kind of Janice-like necklace here. These would be good as these carnelian nuggets are. Okay. Now, I have 3 strands. Well, the next 4 strands, really, I'm kind of in love with. One of them, well, I'm in love with all of them. What a surprise. One of them you've seen before, and I'm going to start with this one. It's the tourmaline faceted round. Do you remember one of my last broadcast where I had a bunch of these little ones? Well, my buddy just had a few of these left. Okay, and so this is the tourmaline round. It's faceted. It's a natural color, and it is about 3 millimeters. They're round, and I think this is about a 13-inch. Well, it's about a 12.5-inch strand there. Okay. So these I think are delicious. I'm going to leave this strand out and I'm going to bring these 2 in. These are strawberry quartz. They are natural, not synthetic. One is the smooth rondelle and one is the faceted rondelle. And you can see how they're a little bit different. And they have such a pretty variety of colors. You know, my mom will laugh at this. It's that ashes of roses kind of color, right? If any of you obsessively watched the Thornbirds like I did back in 1982, that was my prom dress color. Maybe it was my Christmas ball dress color. I can't remember. But I've had a fondness for it ever since. I don't wear a lot of pink, right? As Janice is saying, sorry, I had to take another little sip of coffee. Janice says, pink looks awful on me, but I crave it. Does that seem weird? I don't think that seems weird at all, JP, because you can really, this is also a really fantastic neutral. If I bring this pink in, right, and I bring in, I'm going to show you these in a second, but I pull that labradorite in, look at how pretty that is. If I pull some amethyst in, look at that saturated color. I even have some lapis, and look at how pretty that lapis does, right? Okay. And so my mom is asking, these are all being sold as single strands, you guys, but I broke them up into color collections so you can kind of see how I was thinking about it. And it makes sense, I think, to present them that way. So these are all in single strands, but I'm kind of presenting them to you as this color collection. And then the last one in this flavor are more big, fat, faceted moonstones. Again, an 8-inch strand. And these are about a little over 8.5 millimeters in width. And then they vary. 5.9, let me get a smaller one. 4.8, 4.7, right? So that's these guys here. So that's this. So this is this kind of colorway. And again, thanks, Ma, for the clarification. These are all being sold by the individual strands, but these all kind of have that colorway to it. Now, I also grabbed, this was the last thing, I was leaving the show and I saw these, and these kind of fit or not, I don't know, but I had to get them. We're selling them by the individual bead. Can you guys even see this? It is a giant carnelian bead. And can you see the facets that are here? You'll really see it on the website, but these are giant beads. They are 20 millimeter. These would go great with the Ghana brass that we still have in stock, that Cameroon style bead, some of our tribal and trade beads. So beautiful. What did I say, 20 millimeter? And we're selling them by the bead. The whole size is big on these. It's a little over 2 millimeters. So these are big. I can't help it. I loved them. So when I was leaving the show, I go over to the vendor and I say, "Hey, how much for these giant carnelian beads?" And he gives me a price, and I threw some money at him, grabbed the strands, and left. So I don't know. They're kind of a little bit of an oddball, but they're just, I don't know. They're so delicious. I just love them. So let me move to the next series of colors. Again, single strands. We're selling these by the strand, but again, I'll present them in color order. So I feel like these go really well. I got, you know how I love pearls. Now, Janice is less of a fan of these kind of weird Baroque pearls than I am. I love these cultured freshwater pearls in these weird shapes. Okay. Some people find them a little creepy, which I can relate to. I understand. The way that they culture these, they put, a shape on the inside, and then the nacre is kind of cultured over the top of that. So it kind of takes this funky shape. This length, it's about 15 inches, and depending on the size of the beads, like this giant nug right here, this one, this is like 24 millimeters long, okay, and about 10 millimeters wide. This one, this kind of weird teardrop shaped one, it's about 26 millimeters. These are not extremely, I don't want to say, but they are imperfect, right? They've got inclusions. They've got, they're not the most pristine pearl, but I feel like they have a lot of personality to them. I love them. So that's this guy here. And so I love the way that these will go with, I've got a couple of strands of labradorite because, it wouldn't be a Kate flash sale without throwing some labradorite at you. This looks really dark on the screen, but as I get it a little closer to you, you can see there's a lot of flash in here. Again, that flat heishi. These are a little more round and a little less flat. Another 8-inch strand. These in width will be about 7 millimeters, and then about between 4 and 5 millimeters thick, right? And then I got these, they're delicate, they're a very small little faceted rondelle of a in the labradorite. And you can see, going back to Janice's necklace, her Interlude necklace, this would be a great colorway to string up. You know, you could use these pearls where these big nuggets are. You could use these tiny labradorites as, like, instead of seed beads. It would really look great. I also grabbed some smoky quartz. This is another flat heishi in the smoky quartz. And yeah, some of these have tassels on the ends. That's how they string them. These are all from India, from a company who has been cutting stones for generations. So the quality on these guys are great. This is about 5 millimeters in width. And they're a little skinnier, about 1.5 to 2.5 millimeters or so. There's something about smoky quartz. I've always loved it. One of the first really expensive fancy strands of beads I ever bought was, I don't know, they must have been 20 millimeter faceted smoky quartz. I just love them. Again, another 8-inch strand, so I'll place that there. Yeah, Kim Crawford, smoky quartz, now you're talking. Yes, I know, I just love them. This one's a little bit of an outlier, but I think it works really beautiful with these guys. Micro-faceted citrine. Come on now, kids. Really beautiful. Again, an 8-inch strand. The facets are micro-faceted, so you can see that shine, that glimmer in there. About 3.5 to probably 4.5 millimeters, and about 5.8 millimeters wide. Really, the color is very clear, not overly saturated, but definitely a beautiful citrine yellow. Really good. Then I've got two things that look like pyrite. One is pyrite, which are these flat pyrite faceted little buttons that I can't take it. I love these so much, right? 7.4 millimeter by, they're round, so about 7.5 millimeters in size. And then, so these are true pyrite. This is a hematite strand that has been plated. Okay, so, but they both have that pyrite look. These are super heavy, which I love. I love the heaviness of these beads. 4.3, and then the width is an 8 millimeter, about an 8 millimeter rondelle. So that's this collection here. Again, sold by the individual strand, but they look great together. So I'm going to pile them up. And they also look great. I'll pile up, so we'll add kind of our beauties, our pink beauties to those, right? Lorraine is asking, how can you tell if they're plated? I always ask my vendors, and you can kind of tell. So let me show you. If the finish, can you see? It's hard to see on the camera. And it's not that, and these hematite that are plated, the pyrite plated ones, they're not going anywhere. This coating isn't going anywhere. They've really perfected this finish. But you can kind of see that this one on the left has a little more of a natural look, and these on the right have a little more of a manufactured look. That's not a very good explanation, but that's kind of what I call it anyway. These are going on sale. Judy's asking, right now it is 11:02 a.m. on the West Coast if you're watching this live, they go live on beadshop.com at noon. And some of these are going to fly right out. So I'm sorry if you miss some of these, but I will, don't worry, you guys, I'll have more. Look at this, not these, but I'll do more trunk shows. I promise. You guys know how much I love doing this. And right now, you know, doing these types of sales, it allows us to sell a variety of beads that we might not be able to sell otherwise, because these beads, they're limited the way that they are. So I can't get hundreds and hundreds of strands. I can get tens and tens of strands, right? Sometimes 50, sometimes only 20, sometimes 70, but it's not an unlimited amount. So that's why these flash sales really work for that. This, I just can't tell you how much I love this picture, how this looks. My mom was asking the whole of this plated hematite. Her keen eye saw that it was a pretty large hole. So I'll tell you, it's just under 1 millimeter there. Can you see that there? Okay. So there we have it. All right. So my last grouping is, I don't know, it's all my favorite, I guess. Let me show you these. Let's start with the lapis, because why not? Well, first, no, let me start with this. This is a blue opal, a banded blue opal, natural color, not dyed. Okay? I mean, it's just, and they're that oval, again, faceted. And they're all very different. See how that one is striped? This one is mostly blue. So it's blue quartz in a matrix of agate, right? Again, 8 inches. This, I think, is my favorite strand, hands down. They would make great earrings. About 15.5 millimeters long by about a little over 11.5 millimeters wide. Yeah, this agate and opal, oh God, it's beautiful. I love it. So that's that one there. You can see, like this one, the hole might be a little bit off. These are all hand drilled, so they might have a little more quote unquote character, right, than some. And that's how you can kind of tell, like these hematite beads, they're hard, right? The material is hard. So it's easy to get a really crisp facet. It's easy to make them all kind of the same size. Mostly you can see there's a little bit of size variation and something like that. But something that's like a softer stone, like this blue agate, right? They're going to have a little bit of variation. Kim Crawford says it really well. She says it's the banded blue opal, which this is. Each bead is a scene and it tells a story. That's exactly right. I mean, look, it's like the sky and the sand. Look at that one, right? I just adore them. I love them so, so much. Okay. So then I've got some lapis. If you know me, you know my love of lapis. This is an 8-inch strand. So these lapis ones here, this is an 8-inch, and then these two are about a 12 to 13-inch strand here. Let's look at this 8-inch strand. And I think the reason I love this so much, again, it's my mom's fault and my dad. My dad, he used to travel a lot. Not a lot, but he would travel to South America for business. And he brought me back from one of his trips. It's a bracelet that had a big lapis stone. It was made of copper and brass, I think, and it had a big lapis stone in the center. And that really started my love of lapis. I still have that bracelet. I love it. And then my mom, when she and I went to Hearst Castle here in California, down in San Simeon, the famous lapis pool, indoor pool. If you don't, look it up. You'll be delighted. But it is a beautiful indoor pool that has lapis tiles, and it's just, when you're in there, I can hardly stand myself. It's so beautiful. So that's why I love lapis. I just love it so much. And so these are a micro-facet, again, a rondelle, 3.5 probably to 4 millimeter, a little over 5.5 inches or millimeters, sorry, wide, on that 8-inch strand. These are very much like these tiny labradorite strands. Okay, they're small and they're kind of a rough cut. They do really well as little spacers like these seed beads are. Okay, so 3.4 millimeter by, I don't know, 1.5 to 2.5 millimeters. Probably, again, rough little nuggets, right? Really, really pretty. Okay. These, I have a special place in my heart for matte lapis, and this saucer. These really speak to me as if they were beads that were handmade millennia ago, right? They have, again, a rough feeling to them. They're saucers, a beautiful shape, that saucer shape. The holes are really, really clean and nice, but they really look like they might have been handmade, right? I just love them. And you can see that pyrite in some of them. Sorry, it's kind of hard for you to see, but look at that little nugget right there. It's just so good, right? And Janice is saying they look like the antique Tibetan lapis. Yep, exactly, JP. They have that feel to them. But you can see all three of these together, what an interesting story they make. And I think that they look really beautiful with that citrine, right? They look great with labradorite, but labradorite always looks good, right? With anything, I think. You can even mix it up with this strawberry quartz and this tourmaline. It's kind of a fun, happy colorway, right? And of course with that banded agate, or the banded blue opal, so pretty. Then the last two in this mix are the amethyst. I want to make sure that I'm not leaving anything out. I have them all sitting, I'm just showing you the strands. I should show you like the bunches. Let me show you. I mean, look at I'm getting distracted now. So, but here's all the, like, really, I mean, come on. Look at how pretty that is. I think I've shown you. I think that's everything. I don't think I've left anything out. Yeah. So these are the last of the last here. Natural amethyst. Again, this saucer right here, right? The saucer is 7 millimeter. I'll just pick a random one, hole to hole. It's about 5.5 or so, 5, maybe to 5.5 millimeters. And again, that flat heishi, like I had in the Moonstone and in the lapis. 6.2 millimeters in width. For 2 millimeters by maybe 3, a little over 3. So, and I like to stack them like this. Okay. And yes, Leslie, you were asking, is this citrine? And yes, it is. Look at how pretty that citrine, of course, looks with that purple amethyst. You could throw in that pink. I'm really partial to this strawberry quartz micro-facet. Look at how pretty those look together, right? So, so those are they. right there. So we've got a whole bunch. Let me put them back in their colorways so you guys can kind of see. Now they're kind of a big mess on my board. But sometimes when you get your pieces, this is kind of the first thing that I do. And to be honest, I've been so busy. I haven't really thought about this virtual trunk show or this flash sale Friday, even though it's Wednesday, right? Yeah, some orange. It would be good with a little bit of orange, a little bit of citrine. I'm sorry, carnelian would look great. But I was thinking about, how am I going to present these? How do I want to kind of share some ideas with you? And so that's when I kind of put them into these 3 different kind of colorways so you can see how they play off of each other. So there's that blue one that's down there. Here's the labradorite. You can see from light to the more saturated, right? What did I put with that? I put that pearl with it. I put these guys, the smoky quartz, the pyrite. There we go. And the citrine. Yeah, that's nice. And then, yeah, these look, right? Those big carnelian, those would look cool in there, right? Really pretty. Then this last one here, all of this moonstone, the mystic coated moonstone, the natural strawberry quartz, and this charmer of a little pink tourmaline is there. So there they all are, back in their color stories. They look pretty nice, I think. So again, just so, and I'll flash this, I'll lay this kind of on top, you can see. I'll hold it in my hands right there. But this would be a great way. I would use the Softflex, the 0.014, really easy to string. It should go through all of these bead holes, no problem. And you can just mix it up, your strands. And again, just to show you guys who came on a little bit later, this closure that Janice did with the button. It's one of the Green Girl pewter buttons, but you could use any of these. There's that little button, and then the wire guard kind of holds that button on, and then everything is crimped here with a crimp cover covering it. Then we've just got this little scrap of leather, 1.5 millimeters, or you could use a 1 millimeter. I shouldn't measure it. I can't remember what we used. Well, this probably was, yeah, a 1.5 millimeter leather here. Pull it through just so your button goes through it, and then it adds kind of that little bit of a boho touch. You can add a charm. This is our Feel Good charm. It's a 2-sided. It's one of Janice's favorites, so it's a nice one to go on there. Right, so a really pretty way of kind of using a collection in this way. So right now, so you guys know, I'll do a little split screen here. That's fancy. It is 1:16 a.m. on the West Coast here. So these are all going to go live at beadshop.com at noon our time. Okay, so if you are on the website and you're at noon and you're like, where is it? Where is it? You got to hit that refresh button because your browser won't automatically reload, right? If you want to buy any other stuff, I suggest logging on now after this broadcast goes. Log on to your account so you get your VIB points. Put things in your cart that you might want to go with this stuff. Softflex, you want to get a little leather or a nice little Green Girl button or something like that to go with them. Throw that stuff in your cart so that when the gems go live, you can shop, throw them in, check out. Don't linger because these are limited strands. But don't worry, I have more. And we have a fun concept coming up for 2022 that I think you guys are going to love, where we'll be able to do some of this, maybe even a little more often, which is going to be great. So hang in there. I know that sometimes it is disappointing if you don't get exactly what you want, but you know, that's sometimes that's the way the bead bounces, right? So I also wanted to mention, let me show you, thank you for showing here. Oh, did I say 116? It's 11:16. Sorry, JP, I'm kind of zoning out. 11:16. Actually, it's 11:18 now a.m., but they go live noon, at noon Pacific time. Lorraine is saying great earrings. So let me show you, Lorraine, this. We got a bunch of new super duos in, not new ones, but they're ones that we've had, but we have just restocked, and they have been on sale. So you can get some great super duo prices right now. This is Dria's snowflake earring that we love so much. So I wanted to wear them, right? And I love the way that these look. Drea did such a great job doing this design. So they're a lot of fun. So I was wearing those today. So super duos are, I think, a really great, it's a fast, simple earring. And then you can see there's just a little wire wrap there through the top of that super duo that connects it to the ear wire here. So I wanted to show you guys that. I also wanted to mention on Friday, I'm going to just pass it through. Friday, I've got something for you. That's all you're going to see, but I'm going to talk to you Friday. I've got another little treat. We've got a lot of fun things, you guys, coming up in December. We're halfway through December 15th. So make sure you guys do stay tuned to our newsletters, and we would love to see you over on our Facebook group as well. So you can find us on social, on our Instagram at beadshop.com, of course, at the Bead Table on Facebook. And I'll get to, I know maybe a few of you have been in the waiting room there this past week, so I'll get over there and approve everybody in there. Make sure, though, you guys, to answer each of the questions for the group. If you were waiting for an approval, it may be that the questions weren't answered. So you can always go and answer the questions, and we'd love to have you over there in our Facebook group. Over 7,000 beaders strong, which is great. You can also like and subscribe if you're watching this live. Thank you so much. On the replay, thank you also so much. If you're watching this on the replay and you missed this flash sale and you're like, no, I missed it, make sure and jump over to our website, beadshop.com. You can sign up for our newsletter for the latest discounts, giveaways, and new products. Again, as I said, we've got some really great things coming up for 2022. We're going to start off with our monthly mix, and our theme for monthly mixes for 2022 are your birth month flowers. So January's mix is going to be all about carnations. So that'll be fun. That drops on the 1st of January. That's coming up. Next week, I have a really wonderful project with Drea. Again, I'm going to do the project from my home studio next week. It is a Bollywood earring that she's put together, and I have a little take on it as well. So I think you guys will love that. Friday, I'll also be at my home studio. We're going to debut something new, a limited amount. Watch your newsletters. You'll see it then. And Janice is also going to post a picture of her original necklace of this in the group as well. So again, before I sign off, I wanted to say a fond thank you all again for your many kind wishes for myself and my family with the death of my dear sister, Julia. hard to say even. It's hard to imagine. She's left a big hole in our family. But we will carry on and honor her with everything we've got in the food that we cook, the stories that we tell, and the actions that we take to be kind. Because if that girl was anything, she was kind. So, have a great week, everybody. I will see you on Friday. The beads go live at noon. It is 11:23 a.m. on the West Coast, so at noon in just about a little over a half hour, you'll see those go live. Thank you again, you guys, so much for your support of our small business, because without you out there, we here could not be doing what we love. So thank you, thank you, thank you from all of us here. I'll see you on Friday. Stay safe, everybody. Enjoy shopping, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.